This is your weekend market review for Friday, January 27th, 2023.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market review for Friday, January 27th, 2023. Let's get into it. Hopefully you had a great week. It's been up for the most part, a little bit of volatility in between, but the volatility has come out of the market. We'll talk about everything. It's going to be a busy week next week. In general, next week to me means everything. I would say at this point, the whole process of what we've done the last couple weeks comes down to the Fed meeting, jobs number, and big earnings. Think on Wednesday, FOMC. Thursday, you have Amazon, Google, and Apple after the close. And Friday, you have the January jobs numbers. So it's going to be an interesting one. So keep that in mind. I'm going to open up the Discord room. Just say this right now. If people who think, they're not welcome here or kicked out in the past, I've always said this, timed out, whatever. Again, I typically don't really kick anyone out. It's just more of like a ban. It's more of just a kick out, take a break from the room. Because sometimes people need to learn from their mistakes and also realize like, hey, your coaches and your mentors, your friends are there to be honest with you. So anyway, point being is going to open up the room. Link will be in the description below. If you come in, please check it out. Ask questions. Get involved though. As I said, I really want people who want to take this to the next level. Again, if you want to just hang out, you can always follow on Twitter, YouTube, post regularly what's going on. This is probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. Messages on Twitter. If you're still newer and you're not really sure, we always tell people this. I mean, it's worth checking out the educational trading videos. Most of them are somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes long. They're not meant to be super long in the sense that there's a lot to say in them. Usually they're pretty quick, succinct, to keep it simple kind of thing. I'm hoping people are using them. And again, we've got an FOMC meeting. So there's a video on Monday, Tuesday before the FOMC, and there's jobs numbers. So both of those going. I probably should really do a video about earnings. Someone remind me of that, because that's an interesting topic, because I can kind of broadly get into earnings in general. But yeah, check it out. Education. If you want to be the best, I say this all the time. Like, do you expect to be great at anything you don't give a lot of effort to? If you're that type of person, this channel is not for you. Trading is not for you, because you're going to have to bust your behind to figure out how to get this to work for you. Again, the market's meant to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Do not ever get that twisted. All right, Bitcoin. Let's just jump into it. Holding up relatively well, I would say at this point. The weekends have seemed to be a little more volatile, but I think up. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're holding up. High and tight necessarily isn't bearish. I personally think, my opinion on digital currencies, a little maybe different with Bitcoin, but in general, I think they're going to have volatility. I just, until liquidity just jumps back into the system and people are feeling pretty, I don't know, what's the best way to say, positive about the future, I think it's a liquidity trap. I think Bitcoin potentially is caught in that, even though the strongest one, where just money's just going to come in and out. It's not really going to sustain, and so it'll probably be very choppy. Oil, I talked about this all day in the Discord room, and the folks that listen, please hit the like button, leave a comment below, tell me anything that you think is funny about this video, or just in general a comment we're referencing here. Oil, I said this all day. I'm like, I don't trust this market holding up. And again, we got that slide at the end of the day. We'll go through that, and you got to see the volume. There was some epic unloading, right? And we'll talk about why as well. Oil pulling back right here at support. Is this a real trend? I don't know. We'll see if it does hold, but in my opinion, it's not that impressive. It's more of a range high to maybe a channel low, channel high, channel low. We'll see. Will the markets like that? Probably, but maybe not too, because this is the thing. What happens, if you remember very clearly during COVID, when the market dumps, oil demand destruction happens. It's a real thing. If you're going into a recession, could we get back into the mid 60s? Again, I still don't think there's a ton of downside. Like, I still think about this, Drew was asking this. Chevron is spending $75 billion on a buyback. They're not investing it in finding more oil. That says a lot about what they would like to have happen with oil over time. If you're not going to, they're going to just return money to shareholders. They're not going to invest it in oil. Natural gas, channel low. It's bouncing. It's trying to. Just be careful. I know some people were buying oil, and I honestly think, and I've said this in the last couple of videos, there might be a situation where people unwind shorts that have been down to go into other names. Keep that in your brain here, because that makes sense to me. If I was looking to short a market that I think is going to get weak, something that's gone from 7 to 3, and it's natural gas, I might wind up, unload your shorts, take off your shorts, put on your pants, let it rise a little. You know what I mean? Just that, to me, trade. And you'll see that in the market. There are times where fund flows are a little off and strange, but it's like it makes sense that names that have, remember, the trash floats last. Well, here you go. This is like, I don't even know. I mean, this has just been trashed and trashed. So I mean, sad to say about natural gas. Some people get really emotional. You're like, oh, you can't say that about that company or that stock. Okay. Dollar. Good question here. Another one from Drew. Do you think the dollar can take off before the FOMC? I have this little zone down here. It matters. It's a what? The next little VAP node. I would not be surprised at all if we pull back into that before the with the FOMC. But I also could see it take off. So either way, as we always say, don't be an all or nothing trader. Identify what could happen here, and this is, and act on it. I mean, I guess that's essentially what we're trying to teach you guys in trading in general, right? Figure out the probabilities to act on it. Know the pattern potentials. Know all the scenarios. Well, here's my scenario. We called that top pretty good. Sorry, I was just looking. I was like, man, that was a pretty impressive, not impressive, but a decent call. Definitely helped give us some clarity on things. I think you probably won't get over this 20-day. Because think about it, by Wednesday, it'll probably be around here on 2760. I could see it popping to here. If it breaks out before then, God forbid you've taken advantage of the low VIX. TLT, I'm telling you, we said higher rates. We said lower rates, then higher rates, and now I'm starting to really worry about inflation anchoring in. They need the market to tank and raise rates quickly to get the last drop of inflation off that they can near term and try to find semblance of stability in rates. Because thing is, they waited too long to raise rates. Now they have to push them higher. I think more aggressively than they really should, just to make sure they stamp out inflation. Think of inflation as like a fire. If you even let a little bit, some of the coals blow around in the wind, I mean, it could continue no matter how much they think they put their foot on it to put it out or poured water on it. Water. We'll see what happens here. This does not look bullish, but high and tight. Like, this looks very distributive. Would you not agree? That price action, that reaction at a high, a lower high, that could have been an unloading. We'll see. It's tough to say. Same thing probably like dollar with the TLT. It might be a little hard to know near term. Zavix. I mean, I don't know how to scream any louder without having the world jump down my throat and say I'm an idiot, but I tried to explain to people, you had to add some shorts today. You had to put some shorts on. I know. We weren't talking Tesla or something that's going ape, but your Netflix. We'll talk. The things that have been acting weak, they make sense, right? Well, here you go. Sorry, I got my mouse on it. I don't think we're going much lower. Could we have a sudden impulse up? And this is what we're going to talk about. So I think we will at some point this week. Now, how deep, how big, I don't know. But depending on the action, now again, this could all subject to change depending on evidence, wording of things, whatever. As of right now, my highest probability setup potential is what? I said it today. I was like, watch what happens up at channel high. Look at that wick, okay? That's pointing to down. End of the month, last 3 business days of the month. I say this, first and the last 3 business days of the month in trading matter. If the market is up, which it absolutely is, from the first day of January, you're up 10%. Most stocks are up what? Way more than that. If you own it, if you're an institution, hedge fund, money market maker, anybody who's thinking about unloading, this is the stupid chasing action that they love to unload in. Okay? You're like, what do you mean they're unloading? Well, let me show you the 10-minute. Look at the close today. Just gone. Gone. Unabandoned, just selling. Right? Just unabandoned, I don't think it's the right word, description of it. Unslowed. Just boom. 2 points real quick. All right. Decent volume. Confirmed? Yeah. So, I mean, would it make sense, again, if you had all this money and you made this amazing month, would you start taking some profits? Is the sentiment right to unload into? We talk about the market makers. Everybody thinks the bull market's coming. Well, that's probably easy to feed stock to people. Just remember that. So, back to the best case scenario. I'm assuming we probably get to 4. Maybe we back test this old trend line. 395. That's my early week scenario max downside. Whether it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I don't know. But take the notes, right? Max downside. I'm writing it down too. Remember, I do this all the time. 400, 395. SPY. TLT, stuck, lower highs. Dollar, holding range lows, stuck. Those are the most important things I think I've talked about. And then you can just say VIX 18 plus. 18 to 19, ring a bell. I mean, that's honestly the whole foundation for the rest of this week, which is kind of crazy. It's that simple, but that's my goal or my thinking. So what are the other scenarios? Do we pop up to 410? Okay, maybe. Do we unload and start getting, and we get back to the channel low? That's always, that would make sense, right? That could happen very quickly. Just keep that in mind. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, well, and then here was the Friday. Ooh, that could set up pretty similarly. All right, hopefully this is pretty clear though. Hold up, breakout, fake out, trap, down, fail, more likely than not, or bottom bounce, and then they finish at 400. Like, that would be pretty sick. I think that, because remember, there also is new money coming in, after, in the, what does they call, first 2 days of the month, right? Was it the second and third? Yeah, first, second, and third. I mean, you might get end of week rally. Just remember it, putting this down in the notes so you can give yourself credit for taking notes and understanding it if you come, say, in the next week, you start reviewing yourself. Qs, wow. Looks over the December highs. Wicks back under. Stays in our range. Hit the 200-day, went a little higher, went to the range highs. Do you want to see the 10-minute on the Qs close? You can see they were unloading. This is crazy. So I had these lines drawn. Like, where's that? It's from the past. Come on. All right, it's not even going to show it on the 10-minute. You know where this is from, though, right? Talking to myself and you. Yeah, here you go. It's an old area from the past. I need to probably go back to the daily. Oh, there you go. I went too far. He went too far. He knows too much. Do you guys know that? So, anyway, back. Let's get out of here. You'll see it on the daily while I'm like screwing around with this stuff. It's all in this area right here. Just keep an eye on it. I'm telling you right now, tops and bottoms can be tricky. Could this be like the little head that sticks out and then you have like the chop the rest of the way? I mean, as much as I think the Qs are crap, they might hold up into the Apple, Amazon, Google earnings. Does that make sense? Like, tap down again. Thursday, an important day. If you have to be around, later in the week is the better time to watch the market. If you're not looking to, if you're in positions, watch the first 2 days. If you're not in positions, probably wait till later in the week.
IWM at the range highs. Just that simple. Dia been lagging like it always does. Slack ass. Another doji. Lower high. You seeing it? I mean, can you see it? Can you see it? I can see it. Sorry, I just drew it. There it is. I seen it. Samson. So, here we go. See what happens here. Dia lagging. Gold. Man, as I've said, I'm usually really good about gold. I mean, the sentiment's so easy to read. Today's action, hard to know for sure. Right? You look at it, you go, dang it. But let's be honest. Everybody thinks gold's going higher. And look at the last 3 days. I see lower lows and lower highs with a little peak. Peekaboo! Let's get over 1950 or whatever it was on the futures spot price. Peekaboo! See what happens here. Because if the Fed announces what I think they're going to try to portray, they're going to try to get gold to dump, right? They're trying to kill inflation. Well, how and what things do people judge inflation and the Fed on? Gold and oil. Do I necessarily think oil has to dump? I don't know. But I know they're going to want to see gold down. They want King Dollar. Make you holla. So watch this what happens here. Because this could be... Remember, this was the bottom. And now we're here. Come down from the bottom, started at the bottom, now we're here. Huh? Started at the bottom, now we're here. Sorry, I make myself laugh, but not laugh. It's kind of stupid. Would this be the Fed? And if you've ever traded gold, Fed meetings are usually big inflection points. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay? So if you've been in gold, it's frustrating you incredibly, and it seems like it's about to dump, you're probably closer than not. Because gold typically, right? Blow off tops or chop tops. And you always have a little peak above, right? Is that your peak above? I thought this was going to be it right here. I was wrong. There it was, I think. Sorry. Gold, again, just trading gold for so long, I have a very good feel for it. Silver, again, lagging. That gives me ultimate uber confidence. Yes, uber. That it should be going down, gold soon. Because silver typically leads. Just keep that in mind. Miners, same thing. They typically lead. Hopefully you've learned this about these trades from following us. That should be like a repeating kind of thing that we've talked about. GDX hits the max upside zone that I had. Like literally, boop, 2 days. Market seems okay. These are starting to peel. Things that, again, that were rising on the way up when the market was rising because the Fed's going to pivot, which they're not. These things are starting to find little weakness. Surprise, surprise. GDXJ, we talk about this one. The juniors lead the large caps. Is that a professional gap? Is that a professional gap there? Because it could be. Gold likes to start even the little ones. GDXJ. And the big ones. They typically got some gaps. You see why I just try to review this all the time with you guys? Because I'm telling you, there's some gaps. There's just repeating patterns. You got to be a nerd. You got to be a nerd about this stuff. Who remembers Revenge of the Nerds? You got to be an alpha. Nerds. No, actually, you got to be a lambda in trading. All right, AG. Again, this is another name. Tri-lambs. This is booger. This thing's been terrible. Absolutely terrible. Moving on. That's the thing. AG's not going to follow gold and silver about to break out to new 52-week highs, new 5-year highs. I mean, whatever you want to call it. I mean, 13-year highs. No, they don't look like they're there. Now, again, miners, these rallies, I think will get bought at some point on a pullback. But if you're not aware, this stuff can get beaten even though the market drops. I mean, AEM, we'll see. I mean, I'm getting lost on my analogies here. But don't count this candle. But here, look. It's still closed within our blue range. Another little Peaky blinders. By order of the Peaky Blinders. You see this? You would think, and we've said this, Newmont would have the ability to break above if the whole complex is going. I know J Solstice follows it. I get it. This area, it's like, well, just that area? No, it's like, hold on, let me go back a little further. This area matters. You know how my favorite t-shirt, this area matters for Newmont. This zone area matters. All right, moving on. Pass. Think it's going to fail. Channel high. 200 day. Ding, 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 ding. Moving right along. AM Dizzle. All right. Apple's making more chips. Intel, these companies all subsidizing more chips. Economic slowdown. These names can get absolutely slaughtered. If you're an AMD, you need to be taking profits on this stuff. That's just my feeling. Another lower high, maybe the 200 day. To be careful, I'm telling you. I think semis are going to get absolutely bamboozled. NVIDIA, we did not short this. I know someone shorted near 200. I see your logic. Just be careful. I think let me redraw this real quick because I think a lot of people are going to want to short NVIDIA, which I don't blame them. Let me just start lining up some other fibs and see something real quick. No. Oh, shoot. 0.618. Interesting. Okay. Today could have been just a trap. Today could actually be the top. Keep note of that. Someone. SMH. Someone. Take notes. Please. It's good for you. We said 243 down here. Nobody believed us. I honestly didn't believe it either at 300, 230. So look, all for, coming clean. Again, all about full transparency. I honestly thought we were toast here. Good trap, Bolt. Again, market. Good job. You tricked us. Well, if you started adding again back here at the channel high, and then the last couple days, I think you're gonna like Soxus. I think you're gonna like it. I mean, I usually don't chart these things, but if I feel like this is the bottom, I need to start trying to project out. I don't know why you couldn't get into the 40, 38 area. It's not a bad trade. Meh. What? Did he just do that? No. TSM, I know a lot of people busting balls like, man, you were wrong at 90. Well, yeah, duh. I'm telling you, I'm not always right. I mean, it made sense. Hello? This area matters? Well, not really. It was clearly this one, but this is the thing. We don't pull numbers and areas out of our what. Remember, if it's say it's 70%, well, that's the 30% you're wrong. Like that kind of probability. I thought it was 90%. I overhyped it. Wrong. Went a little higher. Okay. Feeling good. Feeling way better about it as a trap. Do we not agree? Look at this. Hits that main. Hits the water main here. This water blue pipe. Gaps down in the last 3 days as the market rips bulls to a new bear market to bull market. And this thing goes nowhere. All right. Put that on your list. That does not look right. That looks wrong. Does it not? Anomaly. So you throw that. SMH. AMD. Again, maybe the SMH has a little higher high. I don't know. To me, blow off top and getting there. Adobe. This one filling the gap. I mean, could it go after this guy? I don't know. Software's had a little bit of love here, which makes sense. They don't have overhead. Ton of it. Apple. Yeah. Bueller. We're close. I just don't know if we go higher first, then dump, or do we go lower, then retest? And it's the 200 day later. Think of it like down to 140, rally back up. That's how I feel like Apple will play out, but solely based because it's like a ton of green days in a row. It just needs a little bit of it, and it could trap before. I mean, think about it. If you bought, and here are the scenarios again, take notes. If you bought Apple, think about Apple's numbers. They're going to be terrible. Like they're supposedly This is like the worst year of phone sales since 2009. Apple's got a big business in that. Again, fundamentals typically don't matter, but we're trying to project headlines here. If I was long this, I'd be taking profits. That's all I would say. Like, think of it if you're, again, smart money. Just try to think like smart money. Amazon, like smart money. Like we talked about buying this, riding it up, took some profits. But what did we say? I probably would not short it until what? We said like the 100-day, maybe even, don't be surprised, a little higher. I mean, sometimes getting into trades, getting out of trades, but still seeing them through is good to study. It helps you build, as we call, the muscle memory of this. CRM, supposedly people are getting involved with this one. Putting money into the company, buying. I think they had to disclose whatever, 5% or more ownership. Someone's taking a big stake in this. Ugh. I mean, I look at the monthly. I don't know. But VPA here says that could have all just been a trap to rip up higher. Somebody wanted it. We'll see. Again, I probably would not short CRM at this point. There's way better names. Guggenheim, double topping them here, breaking the trend line. This area matters. It clearly hit it twice this week and it bounced off. Meta got a little short in this, a little too early. Man, I can't believe this. We got a little 140, little in here, little today, just a little bit. Remember, they have earnings as well. Snap is on Tuesday. Keep in mind, Snap probably is going to snap Facebook a little bit. I don't know. Fundamentally, I don't think Snap is doing great. Competition is endless. Instagram, I don't know. But Instagram sucks because TikTok's taking their lunch. It's a tough one. I'll cover in front of it if it's either sell. This is we can get sell. You could buy calls against it in earnings if you're really worried about it. We'll talk about it when it gets closer. Microsoft, again, terrible numbers get rewarded. Remember, it did get to the 200-day after hours on earnings. So could that just be a long mofoking wick and nobody sees it? Like, just pretend that's what's happening. Bam. So that's things that aren't bullish, man. Talking like somebody's listening. Are they? NASDAQ. Congrats if you held that through earnings. Now, this looks like a little mini trap. All right, this is a formation where you break out of a channel, get back in it, then fail. You don't see that typically unless what? You might need a little chop out for a little bit. You need a, you know what I mean? You at least got it. I don't think it would just roll right over. You would have to play a game up in that area. As we know, long term, man, probably as soon as this earnings could literally be the death of tech stocks for the next couple months as well. Because remember, seasonality of tech slows down after the new year. Picks up what? This is the cycle. Is it August to January, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I'm like, that gap could fill. That's what I'd be watching for. Set an alarm. MicroStrategy. Kind of getting stuck on it. I'd stop up here. I think if this thing gets up there, I think you short the crap out of it. I remember people were talking about coin. I'll just throw in a fun extras. Yeah, that might squeeze a little more. Might not, though. This is a big zone. It really depends on the market, right? If the market holds up, this will probably hold up. This is a big zone right here. It got through it. It could be a trap. That's how I'd look at it. And the next one's right up here. Yeah. All right. Keep an eye on it. Netflix added the shorts to this one today. All right. Remember how we said TSM? Netflix, TSM, semis. Here's Netflix. Lagging. Starting to lag a little bit. Put that one on there. Roadblocky. Man, right back near the highs. Trend line. We'll see if it respects. Looks like it will. Tesla. This is funny. This is so funny. You know, we talked about buying it down here. Damn it, didn't hold. Well, now, I mean, did anyone really think? I guess that's sometimes why the market, it does what it does. It's whatever the least amount of potentially is thought by the average person. Well, they tricked me on this one. I did not see 170s. I think, again, I showed you guys on the monthly. Like, there's a ton of, I'll just show it to you guys again. Talking about again, like had a live. There's going to be a lot of resistance here. So just keep that in mind in that blue zone. 177 to like 189, 190. All right, let's get into materials. Let's try to speed it up. X makes a new high. Gaps down, chops. Tough to know. Tough to know. New core. This was, I was watching this in the background. Gaps out to new high. Doesn't really close that great. We'll see. You need more on that one. VALE. Definitely saw this one because we saw, hey, here comes the monthly trend line. Hit it. You know, when the market didn't feel that weak today, but when you look at this, it goes, that looks weak. Put that in your mental pipe. Let it marinate in there where you smoke it. Arrow chopping. I mean, you would think copper fire. No, the last like week and a half. Remember how I keep talking about these anomalies? This thing's sideways. Sitting sideways. CCJ. Gets into the upper box. We warned you. Man, I should have shorted this. Warned folks. I'm like, be careful. CF. Remember, we've talked about why is ag not moving? This stuff is, something's not right here. Something's not right here. Inflation names don't really look that good. Tech, is it time for you to get smoked? We'll see. Watch this area. Mosaic. Because, I mean, I feel like it's going to 80. Even as the market rallies. 100-day. 100-day has been issues before. And again, if you want to short these, go ahead. NTR, all right, makes new highs. Yeah, this looks a little sneaky. AA, we've talked about, like, AA's been on fire. Nowhere. Guides down. You don't expect that. All right, here's another sector. Financials. Oh, well, they're actually back at the highs, Dan. They look great. Okay. Just notice the last couple days. The indecision. Right? Market's supposed to feel good. It looks confused. JP Morgan. A lower high. Put that on your list. Again, shorting fast today. 87s. Morgan Stanley just chopping here. Here's the channel highs. Is it getting back there? I don't know. Goldman slacks. Not getting over yesterday's high. Interesting, we're in the zone. Why can't I? The mouse is so sensitive on this. Could go a little higher maybe, but that's going to be resistance. XBI, holy crap-a-moly. I mean, who thought it would channel out of this eventually? I guess so. Yeah, look at it on... The market rolls, this is it. I mean, this is where it's going to get. That 90 area is going to be it. I know there's people probably, LabD, what is it, at 13? I mean, you see a 12 handle on it. That might make sense. Solar. What the hell? First Solar's holding up really well. I got to admit it. Tan. Not so much. It looks like a little dragon. Can you see it? Here's the head. Here's like the shoulders. Maybe you could call it a multi-humped camel. We'll see. I don't think solar's, again, maybe money comes into solar at the end of the month, but I think money's been coming out. We'll see. Some of these names. ENPH. That was the one to short, y'all. Look at that. Sedge holding up higher, tighter. Looks pretty much like tan, doesn't it? This one, did I not do tan for? Do they look that similar? Wow, Sedge and tan look basically identical. If you look at them, we'll see. First Solar, this one's a little wider and looser, right? Duh. This one's a little crazier. This is like the upward version of that. You had to add. I mean, could it? Just have stops. Remember, this one's wide and loose. Don't trade this one as aggressively until you're comfortable with it or you feel like you're confirmed. Another warning. All right, let's end it with oil. Oil. Really thought this stuff was going to hold up. Nope. That doesn't make sense. UNG, I get it. Look at the volumes. Good God. I see it. I seen it. Watch it. I mean, said what we said about it earlier about natural gas. It has potential to bottom here. I just don't know how strong it will be. XOP, ooh. That's not bullish, y'all. Should lead at least to one more day down, 2 days. ExxonMobil, what it talked about. All-time high, channel highs. Here we go. Did it fall through? Nope. Failure to launch. Keep that in mind. Oxy, up, down. XM, hopefully did okay. That was a long wick, but a lot of things had wicks today. Okay. I mean, I think there's better shorts, but hey, if it works, it works. You can't really argue about making money. If you think it works, it works. PXD. So far, I like that start. I like how oil's showing it. Service. So, yeah, lower highs, 200-day. End it with EQT. Hopefully, this has been very educational. Took some notes. This doesn't look like a company that's doing well. This is the trash of the trash. Remember, we talked about how they couldn't manage their natural gas exposures. Call me. I'll help trade natural gas. I feel like you guys couldn't do it any worse. So we'll see what happens here. Remember, next week, important, very important. Please think about it. Please think about all that's coming. You got to be cognizant. There's multiple different potentials here. All of them lead to chop ultimately or play in the extremes. All right. Let me end it with just a little real estate rant. I appreciate everybody, first of all. Hopefully, again, you're surviving. Please think about real estate. Line this up. I think in the third quarter this year, there's going to be some crazy deals. All right. Talk to you guys and gals later. I'm here for you. Peace.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.